November is often the month where we pause and focus on gratitude and the blessings that we have in our lives. So following along with that idea, this design is going to be thinking about what fills our jars. We know the saying, my cup is full, but I like mason jars, so we're going to fill up some mason jars today. I'm starting out by lining out the design with a white chalk pencil, and then I'm going to use some Liquitex gesso to base coat where my colors are going to go. So this is a mason jar that's going to be full of, a liquid, and then the lid is also going to get filled in. So I'm giving it a nice base coat. This just helps on these smooth Mexican beach pebbles so that you get good coverage. I chose this metallic berry to fill my jar, so I'm going to give this couple of coats. The metallic paint tends to take at least 2 coats so that you don't have brush stroke marks in it, and this color is just so pretty. But first we're going to kind of get the borders and fill it in with a first coat and then come back and get a second coat. If you happen to go slightly outside of the lines, just take some water on your paintbrush and just kind of go along the edge, and it'll clean up that paint line really easily. Next, I'm going to take some silver paint and fill in that metal mason jar lid. So it'll take a couple coats. The silver is kind of thin and see-through, so it took a couple of coats to get a nice solid silver color on there. Now I'm going to take my Sakura Pigma fine line brush pen and outline the liquid in my jar. So I'm going to start by outlining the liquid just to give it some definition. And then I'm going to come back and make another line just slightly to the side going around the liquid, because if you think about a jar, the glass has a thickness to it. So the liquid wouldn't be right up against the edge. And then I'm also going to line the outside of the lid and add some accent lines that kind of represent the grooves and the different kind of shape that's in the lid of the mason jar. I'm going to stay with that Sakura Pigma brush pen and work on the label for the jar because it'll give me a good outline. So I want this to be a scalloped label, so I'm going to draw 2 lines intersecting across the middle of the label and then use them to draw the points that will create the scallops on the label. And then I'm just going to take some black paint and fill that label in nice and solid. Now it's time to add some adorable accents. So I'm going to come back to the Liquitex gesso and I'm going to make some swirly circles in kind of a bunch of 5 or 6 circles, and these are going to be those little swirly flowers that we like to make. Very easy to do. This is the color combination that I'm going to use, some nice fall colors, and the idea is that you swirl on a color and then take this disposable eyeliner brush and swirl in a different color to kind of create the look of petals. This works best if the bottom layer of paint is still kind of wet when you swirl in the other color. The orange needs a couple of coats just because orange is a tricky color, but you want that paint to be a little bit wet when you go in with the eyeliner brush so that the colors kind of mix and meld. And you can even add more than one color if one doesn't seem quite defined enough or bright enough. You can play around and add more than one color or go back and forth between the base color and the swirl color. Now that we've got that all in there, we're going to come back with the Sakura Pigma brush pen and add a little bit more definition by adding a kind of curlicue swirl in the middle of each of the flowers. It kind of defines the petals further. Now I'm going to use that pen to also create this look of raffia, just some kind of strokes so you see these little strings coming off like they're holding the flowers on as decoration. And then I'm going to move on to this green Thule Art acrylic paint pen and add a few leaves and curlicues just as some cute little accents that go along with the flowers. That Sakura pen is the star of the show today. I'm going to come back and add some more detail to the leaves, just an outline and a small line in between. Now I'm coming back through with the Posca PC1MR paint pen to let you know this jar is full of blessings. Now I'm going to accent the flowers and the word blessings with this hologram glitter paint just to give it a little sparkle when we have the resin on this rock. This design was a bit of a random idea that I had, but I couldn't be happier with the way it came out. I think it's really easy, it's super cute, and you can customize it. You can think about some different things that fill your jar, and you can play around with colors like this one. I used gold, family is gold, and look at how pretty that came out. Or you could use a rose gold metallic paint, and I added the word love and some hearts with the rose gold paint. I really hope you enjoyed this design as much as I did. If you did, check out the video I have for you on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future uploads, and as always, thanks so much for stopping by to watch, and I'll see you next time. Take care.